Previously on the Archives of Domaselum.
Okay, we don't have much time. We all need to get out of here.
Drexiath, what exactly was your plan for leading us in here?
As Milcha asked that, I actually lift up the toilet seat. Gorzog, please, we need to stay together.
I can handle myself. I'm gonna move forward a little bit further. Okay, and I am at 0.
Okay, so at 0, you fall unconscious in the water.
Oh, 17 is just what I land 16 left, so I'm down to 0 as well.
Okay, I am also now unconscious.
No, you have to be kidding me.
Drexiath, I need you to make another death saving throw. You have 2 successes and 2 failures. Go ahead and make your roll. As you continue forward, moving through this open tunnel that you have found now that you have gotten out of the sewers of Helver, inching your way along the side past the runoff, you move through the tunnel, and your space within this tunnel is not single file, but it's narrow, about 10 feet across. As you continue to press forward, how far are you guys looking to go at this point? I know you're not in great shape currently, but how far were you guys looking at going before you made a stop?
I think as I'm guiding them through the tunnels, I'm looking for a path that breaks off to one of the sides, and ultimately when I'm looking at a path that's breaking off, I want to see if maybe it curls around and gives us just enough of a space where we can all take a rest as comfortably as we can, even though there's probably not a super comfortable place to rest down here.
Okay, were you just wanting to find like the closest path that breaks off that you can find? Were you wanting to go further down this tunnel that you're currently walking through? Because it does continue on as soon as you enter it.
I think I would take either, I think maybe the second or the third pass that breaks off, and then find a place, just set up camp from there.
Okay. So as you do move forward, you move for what feels like just a few minutes before you notice a first path that breaks off to the left. And then you move forward for maybe what feels like another 20 or 30 minutes without even seeing a path outside of that first one. A doubt kind of comes into your mind at first of, should I have taken that first path? But it's not long after that little bit of travel you find a second path that breaks to the right. And then just up ahead, probably about, I'd say 50 feet from where you currently are, you see another path, another tunnel of sorts, another natural tunnel that breaks off to the left. Do you keep going, or do you want to stop at one of these?
I think I stop at the tunnel that breaks to the right, and I turn back to Milcha and Gineod. I'm gonna check this path to see where it ends up. I'll see if it has enough space where we can make camp for the time being. I go ahead and check out the path to see if it has enough space for us.
Okay. Yeah, as you break off to the right within this path and you follow it down maybe like 20, 25 feet before it kind of curves and it dead ends. And as you enter this place that's off the main path here, there's nobody in this alternate path. It seems like a clear area and a potential spot to set up camp at.
Okay, I run back to the others, and coming from around the side of the entrance, I say, I think this is a good place. Let's stop here for tonight.
Okay, that sounds good to me, Drexiath. I'm in a lot of pain right now.
Okay, probably a good place to stop here then.
Okay, so you guys all come around in the space here. How do you prepare this space for you guys to take a rest? Is any of you creating a fire? Where are you placing your bedrolls at? Just what kind of things like that are you doing to prepare the site for your rest?
I actually don't know if starting a fire is a great idea. I think it could attract attention. And not to mention, I think we all have dark vision, don't we?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do as well.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we need a fire then.
Johnny, can you describe the kind of like the area, what it kind of looks like?
Yeah, it's a open space. I'd say it's about 30 feet by 20 feet in this main section, and then it kind of cubbies back and around to the right for a small 10 by 10 area.
Gineod is going to set Gorzog down by the entrance, not realizing that he needs to be gentle with him.
Okay, so as you drop him, it does make a clanking noise just from his armor and such. It doesn't seem to be a hard enough drop that the sound just bursts through all the hallways, but it definitely does catch everybody's attention here within this main camping area, and it definitely draws attention in that aspect.
Jenny, you gotta be careful with making noise in here. This is kind of uncharted territory for all of us.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that he'd make that much noise when I dropped him.
Oh, sure you didn't, Gineod.
Well,
Milcha, what are you doing as you set up camp?
Well, I'm in a lot of pain currently, and as soon as I realize we're in a place where we're not in any danger, I definitely drop my weapons and shield, and I move towards kind of the back cubby area to start setting up my bedroll and my place where I'm staying for the time being.
Milcha, here, let me help you. What can I do to help you?
It's okay, Gineod. I'm good. I just need a moment. And I start walking back to the corner. I start taking off my armor and seeing what all my wounds look like, and if there's anything I can clean, like to the best of my ability.
Okay, so yeah, you begin taking off your armor and your tunic and all your other clothing items where you would be checking for wounds. You notice a few bruises where you were hit by the sewer weird. You do also begin seeing a lot of blood coming from underneath you.
Okay. I put my hands on my belly Do I feel any kind of movement from my belly?
As you put your hands on your belly, you do not feel any movement at all.
After asking Milcha how she's doing, I notice that a few minutes goes by, and I start to become concerned about if there is another way I can help her. So I look at Drexiath as he's setting up his side of camp, and I walk back to the back where Milcha is, and I go to check on her. As I come around the corner, I say, Milcha, are you sure that there's nothing that I can help you with?
As Gineod comes around the corner, I am startled because I am almost naked, and I instinctually cover myself and I yell, Mother of Orisha, Gineod, give me some space, will you?
As Gineod sees Milcha flip out at him, he instinctually moves away from the corner. Do I notice the blood?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah, with an 8, I think you're probably too concerned about the wrath that she gave you for looking at her in her nakedness.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering. I moved pretty quickly after that shunning just to be next to Drexiath, and while I don't think Gineod feels any sense of awkwardness or shame from not knowing what the customs are like on the Khmor, he definitely feels bad about frustrating her.
You know, I'm not even from northern Domaselum, and even I know not to do that.
I guess I'm just getting used to how things are here.
So, you really are
Am I what?
an alien. My father was calling you an alien. Is that what you are? Like from space?
Oh, no. No, I'm not an alien from space.
I gotta say that I found that hard to believe, but it really took the rest of the people in the arena by storm. It seemed like they were intrigued by the fact that they were seeing an alien from space. Well, so where are you actually from, Gineod?
I'm from the Eternal Khmor.
Okay, the Eternal Khmor. I thought you said you weren't from space.
I'm not.
So, where is...
I think in this moment, Milcha comes from around after she's collected herself. As she steps in and interrupts Drexiath and says, the Eternal Khmor.
Gineod's afraid to look at Milcha directly in this moment, but he is thankful that she acknowledged that because he didn't really know how to answer Drexiath.
So, you've heard of this place, Milcha?
Yes. The Eternal Khmor is the dwelling place of Yatzer. Many people believe Yatzer is the sculptor and creator of the very universe itself.
Yes, that's exactly right, what she said.
Wow. The home of the creator himself? That's... I gotta admit, it's hard for me to believe that someone or something with such power would have other humanoids live with him, her. it, whatever this person, this thing is, you really think he's from the Eternal Camor?
Milcha takes a long look at Gineod. I don't really know what I believe in this moment about Gineod and where he's from. But he clearly has heard, felt something that has compelled him to protect me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was told by Yatser himself to protect you.
Milcha walks around to where she's more in front of both of them at this point. Gineod, if you're from the Eternal Camor, that's a space that would be outside of time, correct?
Would I know that, Johnny?
You could certainly assume so. But as you begin thinking about the Eternal Camor, Gineod, it seems like the knowledge you have about the place and the experience that you've had living there, it's like it's at the tip of your tongue when you look to go and explain it, but it's like it feels like it's missing. It feels like there's information missing in your thoughts as you contemplate this. What you remember about being in the Eternal Camor is that when you were there, you had an overflow of joy about living there. There was no hurt, there was no sadness, there was no shame, there was no pain, no guilt, there was no negative feelings whatsoever. It was just you living in the fullness that your creator wanted you to live in. You remember that yes, the Eternal Camor is the dwelling place of Yatser, and also dwelling there is the seed of Yatser known as Kyrios. And very evident and all around the Eternal Camor is the essence of Yatser. All three beings, Yatser, Kyrios, and the essence, all are one.
As I think about that and remember that, I look back to Milcha and I explain that to her. I can't say I know for sure that it's out of time, but what I do know from my experience there is that it is not like here. There's pain and shame and suffering here, but there is none in the Eternal Camor, where I came from. It's just the fullness of Yatser, of Kyrios, and the essence itself.
Milcha looks at Gineod, puzzled, for sure. Gineod, I want to believe what you say, that you came from the Eternal Camor, and that you were given this guardian angel style job. But I was attacked. My husband is separated from me. My womb is... I think a tear starts to come down Milcha's face in this moment. I don't know how my child is doing inside of me. I would have rather Yatser just taken away what left me broken, not send me a guardian. No offense.
Gideon sits silent, but understandably patient, of the pain that Milka's feeling right now.
Do I know why the orcs came and invaded Maxon?
Whenever you were captured, Milka, I will say that you did overhear some of that conversation. And it was conversation that Gorzog was actually having with another orc. What you heard was that the orcs were given instruction by Zarakis to infiltrate Maxon and Spruge, and that they were also instructed to investigate Taller Rock's defenses. As far as to why, that you were unsure of.
Okay. Eager to change the subject, to hide the pain that Milka is currently feeling, she turns to Drexiath and she says, Drexiath, when I was taken from Maxon by the orcs, I overheard that they were given instruction by Zarakis to infiltrate Maxon and Spruge, and that they were to investigate Taller Rock's defenses. But that is all I know. I want to know what your father is planning.
Drexiath goes silent, but for a second, before taking a deep breath. My father wants to wage war on the Jez Mountains. He desires the jewels in the treasures that lay away inside of the mountain. And he is not unaware of the protection and how guarded it is by the Decapolis and Polis City, as well as any other militia on the northern side that would come to its defense. Our battle in the Colosseum was a test to see if we would be capable enough warriors to join the fight that he brings to that mountain.
I just can't believe that, to wage war on that mountain with tenfold worth of cities that will protect it. That would mean that he would have to have a vast army to do something like that.
Johnny, was I aware of my father's building up of any kind of army or plan, or what exactly his tactic was to try and take the Jez Mountains?
Yeah, so in your time that you've lived there, really ever since you and the siblings have known your father, he has been building an army throughout that time. And while you can't really say for sure how it would stack up or compare to the defenses of the Decapolis and Polis City and the other various cities in the northern part of Domaselum, you can say for yourself that his army is thousands, 10,000s, maybe even larger.
Milcha, I don't exactly know how to answer that. Not because I don't want to, but because I know my father does have a large army ready to take on or even overtake any place here on Domaselum. Whether he would succeed or not, I can't say. But what I will say is that when my father has his mind on something, he will go to great lengths to make sure that he achieves that, or that he gets what he wants.
Well, then we have to warn Polis City. We have to warn the Decapolis. But first we have to make it back.
Am I still unconscious, Johnny?
Yes, Gorzog, I would say at this point you are still unconscious.
Milcha, I'd be happy to help you get home and help you find your husband. But first we have to survive this.
I am willing to help in that as well. I can't go back to the life that I had in Helver. I would never be accepted back. In fact, I fear that if I'm caught, I'd be killed on sight. And Drexiath, as he's in deep thought, starts to become really sad about the idea that the family he once had, the place he once had, is now going to be volatile towards him going forward. In the midst of this decision,
Milcha, as you're standing there in conversation with them, you start to feel some pain within you. And you begin to feel some blood starting to come out as well.
I'm gonna try and get some rest. Let me know when you guys are ready to travel again. And before they can even give her a response or an answer, she quickly moves back behind the rock. She lays down on the bedroll that she has from her pack, and she quietly sobs to herself in the midst of the pain.
Okay. Gineod, Drexiath, is there anything in particular that you guys would like to discuss?
Gineod still sits down with Drexiath, and he pats Drexiath on the shoulder, probably kind of heavy because he still does it. No gentleness with the kind of muscle that he has. But he says, Drexiath, what you did back there was very brave. I haven't been here very long to know what the people are like here. I think what you did was a rare thing that not a lot of people would have done. And I think I can speak for Milcha, and maybe eventually Gorzog, when I say we are very grateful for what you did for us, and we are aware of the sacrifice that you've made. I know you think you've lost your family in this, and I hate to say it, but maybe that's a possibility that you have. But you have me and Milcha, and we'll look after you and take care of you. You don't have to be on your own in all this.
thank you, Gineod. That means a lot. I'm grateful for you all. Even in this short time that we've known each other.
It was a good thing that you had that book to help get us out. What was that anyways?
You know, I honestly don't entirely know. It was definitely a strange book that gave me a lot of the abilities that you've seen me do already. It was like a book of power of some sort. But I knew I had one chance with it in order for us to get out. And I took it, even at the cost of leaving the book there.
Well, nonetheless, you got us out of there. And safe to say, you've earned the loyalty of me and Milcha for sure.
Drexiath looks back at Gorzog, still unconscious on the ground. Maybe eventually his too. I gotta be honest, Gineod, I don't know if he'll end up sticking around with us. He seems like a lone wolf kind of guy.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He seems like that. let's just keep an eye on him as long as he stays with us.
I agree with that. I think one of us should stay up and keep watch, just in case somebody or something comes by the campsite here.
Yeah, I agree with that. Do you want to take the first watch, or do you want me to?
I think I will.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get some rest, but I'll be right here in case you need anything.
Thank you, Gineod.
And I go ahead and go lay down towards the back, like the back left side of the campsite, but making sure as to not be in visual range of Milcha and letting her have her privacy now that I've learned what that is.
Yeah. Okay. Drexiath, as you remain up and alert, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
I rolled an 11.
Okay. So, as you're sitting there, watching from the campsite, you feel the chill of being here in the caverns. You can occasionally see just the moisture along the rocks, a faint dripping from the stalactites. And as you watch over the area, you see Gorzog kind of toss for a minute, but he doesn't get up. Milcha, are you still awake in this moment?
No, I think she would have ended up crying herself to sleep, essentially.
Okay. Well, Drexiath, in your time of standing guard over the campsite, nothing happens during your watch.
Okay. I go to take just one more drink from my water skin before I turn around to go and wake up Gineod for the next rest.
Okay. Upon you turning to grab your water skin, you grab it, take a drink, put the cap back on it. As you go to turn around, without noise, all of a sudden it surprises you and it startles you for a moment, because you see the very dark cover of the book that you had left within the arena.
Drexiath is scared, like it scares him at first. He actually almost lets out a surprised cry, almost like a yell. But he composes himself as he stepped back from it, and he now walks towards the book. And he's gonna grab it, and he's going to open it. As he goes through the pages, what does Drexiath see when he opens it?
Yeah, when he opens the book, he passes through the pages of the previous conversations that you've had with this book. The text's still there. The urge from the book to grab supplies for the prisoners. The instruction to open the book. All of that conversation is still there. And then you come to the next empty page on the book. And as you open to that page, you see the very words come across the page. The words say, "I told you I would get you out. I fulfilled what I promised you."
Before I go and wake up Gineod, I softly speak to the book, and I ask it, "How did you get out? How did you escape?"
There's pause as you're waiting for the writing to come across the page.
It's like the book is typing, kind of like whenever you're sending text messages.
Yeah, that's right. It is kind of like that. The book is... It now puts these words across the page. And it says, "Your father and all of those soldiers were never going to be able to hold me."
Drexiath thinks on that and the amount of power that would assume would be on this book, knowing how powerful his father is.
The book writes again to you, Drexiath. It says, "I gave you power to help get you out, and I can give you even more. But from here on out, I must have a commitment from you." And that sentence finishes that part of the page.
You held up your end. What is the commitment you speak of?
The book is paused for a moment before it starts to write again. "Let me continue to empower you more and give you a better life."
That's it? That's all you want me to do?
The book writes, "I will get what I want from the experiences that you have with me by your side."
Drexiath ponders on this, and the pseudo-sentience that this book seems to have. And Drexiath takes a deep breath in, and he stares down at the book, and he says, "All right, you have a deal. But first I want to know, you have no title on your book. There's no name, alias, identity of any sort on this book of what you are, who you are. What shall I call you?"
An even longer pause comes over the book. And after that long pause, the writing continues in the middle of the page. "You can call me Tentergoth."
Okay. Well, thank you for saving me, Tentergoth. We shall have more adventures together.
And the next words on the page say, "I look forward to it."
After reading those words, I closed the book. And before waking Gineod up, I go and set the book just in my pack. And eerily kind of look over my shoulder just to make sure that nobody is watching me. And as I get the book in the bag, I go to Gineod, and I shake Gineod awake, saying, Gineod, wake up."
Gineod probably comes awake pretty forcibly, just after all that we've been through, before he kind of comes to the recollection that nothing's wrong.
"Are you ready for your watch?"
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yes, I can take the next watch. Thanks for keeping an eye out, Drexiath. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Get a good night's rest.
Okay, I will. And Drexiath will go off to sleep.
Okay, Gineod, we come to your watch. Why don't you go ahead and make a perception check for us?
I got a 13.
Okay, with a 13, you sit there and wait. As you're peering around, looking around the cavern that you sit in currently, while you're sitting here, you begin to see a faint glow from the opening of the cavern. And as you sit and watch it, the glow starts to get brighter and brighter as it comes closer to the entrance.
Okay, as I see the glow, I grabbed my glaive, ready to take up arms and ready to call out to the group if anything comes through the entrance.
As you hold your glaive ready, the glow begins to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And soon, while you hold your glaive there, ready to attack if necessary, you see three figures come into view here. And strangely, none of them are humanoid. But what you see is a bear, an eagle, and a wolf all come in simultaneously. The bear comes in with its strong paws just walking along the ground within the camp area here. It kind of lets out a good sized growl as it enters in here. You see the eagle fly through, cawing as it finally perches along the side of a stone along the wall that is more reminiscent of a ledge. And then coming along the other side, opposite of where the bear came from, is the wolf, as it just pants like it's panting for water before it bares its teeth. What's strange about these animals, Gineod, is that they all have this glow about them. And while you haven't been on the Camor long enough to really understand that animals don't really do that, you do get the sense and understanding that these creatures are not your normal creatures.
Regardless, I continue to breathe heavily as I stand and wait for what they're going to do.
As the bear comes around, you watch as the bear opens his mouth, and you hear a voice come from the bear. "You've gotten far already, Gineod, my son." And as you listen to the bear, you hear the familiar voice that you heard in the Eternal Camor, the voice of Yatzer himself.
Still kind of skeptical, I hold the tip of the glaive towards the bear as it begins to talk.
Yeah, and as you hold it towards the bear, the wolf opens his mouth and begins to speak as well. "I am glad that you have seen that Milcha has made it this far. I knew you were the right person for this job." And the eagle from behind you says, "My vision roams all throughout the Camor. And I knew all along that Milcha was needing somebody to help guide her. And that person was you, Gineod."
Okay, at this point, as I've heard all three animals talk in the same voice of Yatzer, I let my guard down, but still look around surprised that nobody else has woken up from these three animals just talking to me. And as I realize who I'm talking to, I actually kneel down in the presence of all three of them.
"My son, I am Always happy to see you.
I don't know if I understand. Yatzer, why come in these forms? Why not come in the form of another humanoid or another creature, another force? Why these in particular? And why 3 of them?
You hear the bear say, I have come in these 3 forms to empower you in such a way that you will remember that in the midst of what you fight for, that you would remember that it is I who longs to see the suffering of this world stopped by good people like you, by heroes like you. These 3 forms that come to you now are here to empower you and strengthen you as you protect Milcha and as you help her heal and guide her towards me.
But Yatzer, what if she will not listen to me? Fee is already unsure if she believes what I say, that I really am from your domain, that I was sent. I think she accepts that I was sent by you, but she questions specifically how I was sent by you.
The eagle flies around and perches on another stone in front of you. What she will soon understand is what matters is that it was me that sent you. It was me that saw her in her suffering and sent you to help the aches and pains and trauma that she has seen in this life.
But you probably heard what she said already, right, Yatzer? Why didn't you just take away the moments? Why did you allow her to be separated from her husband?
Gineod, these are not answers that you will be able to understand with the current mind that you have in this body. But what I want you to know is that I love her, and I care about her, and that I see her in her pain. And what I want you to do with that knowledge is to embody that and to help her remember that I want relationship with her, that I want her love.
I'm sorry, Yatzer. I don't know if I know how to do that right now. Can you give me some ideas? Can you give me a hint if this is some kind of test?
It is no test, Gineod. Just be yourself. You are a kind and caring and capable friend and protector and guardian of my young daughter here. As he says that, the bear comes forward and the wolf comes forward and the eagle comes and perches right on your right shoulder. And as the eagle perches, the bear comes and puts his big right paw on your left shoulder. The wolf puts his paw like a dog looking to shake with his paw. He puts the paw on your right knee. And with all three of these creatures together, you feel a comforting, warm radiance come over your body. Your body feels energized. You feel the bruising and pain leave your body from the encounters that you've had as of recent. You close your eyes, feeling the power from these creatures, remembering that it is the embodiment of Yatzer on you. And as you open your eyes, you see nothing. You don't see the bear, the eagle, or the wolf. But you just see the campsite with Gorzog laying in front of you with Drexiath to your back shoulder. And Milcha back behind everybody else in the corner of the cave.
Okay. I continue my watch from here.
Okay. Gorzog, through part of Gineod's watch, you awaken. Your eyes come open. And as your eyes come open, you feel the bruising pain all along your chest and your head and your back and your shoulders. And as you get a glimpse around, you can see an entryway and this cavernous rocky space that you're in. What do you do in this moment?
As I come awake, I instinctually get up and feel for my weapons. Do I feel any of them near me?
I'll say, Gineod, what would you have done with the weapons of Gorzog?
I think I would have dropped him off at the side, not necessarily next to him, but a little bit away from him. I would say probably about 15 feet from him, maybe.
Okay. So as you look around, you do notice that both your battle axe and your scimitar are to the right of you.
Okay, I immediately start to look for them, and then when I spot them, I go and move towards getting the weapons.
When he turns around to look at the weapons, I say to him, I was wondering if you were going to make it. In the end, I'm glad you did.
How did I get here?
I carried you.
Well, that was stupid of you. You could have gotten us killed.
Well, I guess it was a good thing I was being stupid then, if that means you were alive.
Gorzog doesn't say anything, but just kind of grunts to himself and lays back, realizing that he's not in any danger where he would need his weapons.
Really, you should thank the kid. He's the one that actually got you out. I just carried you here. But I guess if stupid's the word that you use to keep you alive, then I guess you should be thankful for stupid people, shouldn't you?
Yeah, right. You would have been better off just leaving me there.
I'm curious, is it really so hard to say thank you for you?
What thanks do I need to give you?
Do you not value the life that you have, Gorzog?
I value my life, Gineod, but I'm a survivor. And if somebody takes me to death, then I would say that creature, that humanoid, that warrior, whoever it may be, they would get their worth upon my death. But all throughout my life, I have never required the help of anybody to survive. And honestly, I'd probably didn't need yours either.
Wow, man. Okay.
Gorzog starts to move towards his stuff.
I gotta ask, what exactly happened with Milcha?
Gorzog stops reaching for his stuff, and he looks up towards Gineod. I was following instruction. What my superior had commanded of me.
So, what exactly is that?
I was given instruction by my superior that Zarakis had asked our clan to lay siege to Maxon and Spruge and to investigate Tall Rock. And we did exactly that. We were to return back to Helver to give Lord Zarakis the good news. But it turns out that I overplayed my hand and that my clan leader betrayed me.
Wow, I definitely couldn't see that coming.
Of course you can't. I wouldn't expect you to understand anything coming, Gineod. Yes, my clan leader Sumog betrayed me. He was the one that captured Milcha and brought her in. I took care of investigating Tall Rock and helped with the siege in other areas.
And what exactly did that entail?
There's nothing more I need to say to you, Gineod. Gorzog goes to get the rest of the stuff, and as he assembles his armor, attaches his weapons back to his armor, he stands up, ready to go.
Please stay with us, Gorzog. I know you are a loner, that you value the strength you compose of yourself. But there's a better life ahead of you. If you stick with us, and I ask you to give it a chance, perhaps you'll see favor on the other side.
Gorzog stops and ponders that. Really curious of Gineod's words. What substance lies behind them? He turns around and he pulls his weapons out and sets them to the side and sits back down where he was laying down. We'll see if what you say comes to pass, alien. And Gorzog lays back down, and it takes a little bit for him to go back to sleep, but he eventually goes back to sleep.
Gorzog, as you continue to make efforts to go back to sleep, Gineod, you finish out your part of the rest, and now at this point, you all have gotten a long rest. And we're going to do something we haven't done yet in the Archives of Domaselum. We're going to take a break for a moment, because at this point in the story, I am going to say that you all have leveled up now to level 3, and we will go ahead and do that leveling up right now.
Okay, awesome. It's subclass time then.
Yeah, that's right. I know a lot of people look forward to getting to that part of it, and I feel based on the story, we're basically at that point. So we'll go ahead and do the rolls for leveling up. If you guys want to stick around and watch the level up, feel free. Otherwise, you can skip to this time. We will see you back here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and level up now. We will start with Gineod. Gineod, what are you going to do with your 3rd level?
Well, I think I'm going to go wizard.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm going to go 3rd level of Barbarian.
Okay. Go ahead and tell us what you get at 3rd level.
Yeah, so I get two abilities. One is the subclass, of course, and the second is Primal Knowledge. Primal Knowledge says that I gain proficiency in another skill of my choice from the skill list available to Barbarians at level 1. While your rage is active, whenever you make an ability check using one of the following skills, you can make it as a strength check even if it normally uses a different ability. The skill that this applies to is the acrobatics, intimidation, perception, stealth, and survival skills. And for that, I am going to use perception.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. I think that's a newer thing that they've done with the 2024 edition. So now, what subclass are you going to go with?
So yeah, probably, as everybody could tell, probably from the story, I'm going to go with the Wild Heart subclass. And so with that subclass, you get a few features. First is Animal Speaker, which says you can cast the Beast Sense and speak with animal spells, but only as rituals. Wisdom is your spell casting ability for them, which is not great, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I figured that may be the dump ability. I think that what you were really wanting is the next one.
Yeah, that was the one I was wanting. The one I was wanting is Rage of the Wilds. So whenever you activate your rage, you gain one of the following options of your choice. First option is the Bear, which says while your rage is active, you have resistance to every damage type except Force, Necrotic, Psychic, and Radiant. The second is the Eagle. When you activate your rage, you can take the Disengage and Dash actions as part of that bonus action. While your rage is active, you can take a bonus action to take both of those actions. And then the Wolf. While your rage is active, your allies have advantage on attack rolls against any enemy of you within 5 feet of you.
Okay, very good.
Oh yeah, and then I also have an ASMR trait. It's called the Celestial Revelation. You get this once per long rest. It says you can transform as a bonus action using one of the following options, and you choose each time you transform. The transformation lasts for 1 minute or until you end it. Once on each of your turns before the transformation ends, you can deal extra damage to one target when you deal damage to it with an attack or a spell. The extra damage equals your proficiency bonus. And these are the three options. It says Heavenly Wings. Until the transformation ends, you have a fly speed equal to your walking speed. Extra damage is radiant damage. The second option is Inner Radiance. For the duration, you shed bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. At the end of each of your turns, each creature within 10 feet of you takes radiant damage equal to your proficiency bonus. The extra damage is radiant damage. And then there's Necrotic Shroud. Creatures other than your allies within 10 feet of you must succeed on a charisma saving throw. And if they fail, they have the frightened condition until the end of your next turn. The extra damage for this one is necrotic damage.
Okay, cool.
And that is all it is. And so since I'm taking Barbarian, I'll roll my d12, see what I get back.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
See, I rolled an 8 plus 4 for my Constitution, which is 12, and then plus 2 from the Tough Feat, which would be another 14 hit points.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Gineod. We'll move to Gorzog. Gorzog, what is your next character level?
Yeah, I'm going to take my 3rd level in Fighter. And with my 3rd level in Fighter, I get my subclass, which I am going with the Champion subclass. And so my first ability with that is called Improved Critical. It says your attack rolls with weapons and unarmed strikes can score a critical hit on a roll of 19 or 20 on the d20. The second feature is Remarkable Athlete, which says you have advantage on initiative rolls and athletics checks. Also, immediately after you score a critical hit, you can move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks.
Okay, cool. You have a d10, right? So go ahead and roll your d10 for your health.
I rolled a 7 plus my constitution is 4, so that'd be 11 hit points for me.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Gorzog. Next we come to Milcha. This is the one I'm intrigued about. Milcha, what are you going to do with your next character level?
I'm going to take my 3rd level in Cleric and get my subclass. And I am going with the War domain for my subclass.
Oh man, this is going to be good.
Yeah, so the first subclass feature is called Guided Strike. When you or a creature within 30 feet of you misses with an attack roll, you can expend 1 use of your channel divinity and give that roll a +10 bonus. When you use this feature to benefit another creature's attack roll, you must take a reaction to do so. And then the second ability is called War Priest. As a bonus action, you can make 1 attack with a weapon or an unarmed strike. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, and you regain these on short rest.
Okay, cool.
And then I also get domain spells whenever I take my domain. And I get domain spells for both 1st levels and 2nd levels. The 1st level ones I get is Guiding Bolt and Shield of Faith. And then the 2nd one that I get is Magic Weapon and Spiritual Weapon.
All right, awesome. Milcha, if you're taking Cleric, that means you're at a D8, so why don't you go ahead and roll a D8 for us?
Okay, I rolled a 5, plus my Constitution, which is 3, so 8, and then Dwarven Toughness gives me an additional 1, which is 9. So it's 9 HP for me.
Okay, thank you, Milcha. And last but not least, we have Drexiath. Drexiath, what would you like to do with your next class level?
Yeah, with my next class level, I'm going to go with Warlock. And I get my subclass, which is my subclass I'm going with is the Great Old One.
Okay, awesome. What does Great Old One give you?
With Great Old One, I have an ability called Awakened Mind, which is as a bonus action, choose 1 creature you can see within 30 feet of yourself. You and the chosen creature can communicate telepathically with each other, while the 2 of you are within a number of miles of each other, equal to your charisma modifier. To understand each other, you must mentally use a language the other knows. The telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes, equal to your Warlock level, and it ends early if you use this feature to connect with a different creature. And my second ability is Psychic Spells, which is when you cast a Warlock spell that deals damage, you can change its damage type to Psychic. In addition, when you cast a Warlock spell that is enchantment or illusion, you can do so without verbal or somatic components.
Oh, that's cool. So it's essentially like a silent spell. Anytime it's an enchantment or illusion from the Warlock.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. And remind me, I know with Warlock now, you get featured spells and you get to add them to your list, if I remember right. You don't actually have to choose from them or the Warlock ones.
Yeah, that's right. So I have 2 first level ones, 2 second level ones, kind of like Milcha, but with the Warlock spell list. The first levels I have are Dissonant Whispers and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. And then the second one I have is the second level ones I have are Detect Thoughts and Phantasmal Force.
Okay, very cool. Well, as a Warlock, you get the D8, right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I rolled a 2, plus my Constitution modifier, which is 3, so I get an extra 5 HP.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you guys for taking that time to level up. Thank you all for joining us, and we're going to get back to the session. As you all finish your long rest, Gineod, you are the first to see, as you've been on watch this whole time. You see Gorzog rise first from his sleep. And then soon, not long after him, you see Drexiath awaken from his slumber.
Upon waking up and seeing that Gorzog is up and awake and no longer in his unconscious state, Drexiath takes a big gulp and he says, "How are you feeling, Gorzog?"
Gorzog just looks over at Drexiath and gives him a stare for a few seconds before going back to sheathing his weapons and preparing for a journey that he does not know how long it'll take.
Acknowledging the quiet from Gorzog, Drexiath starts to get his things together.
Okay, and as you are starting to get your things together, Drexiath, Milcha, you awaken. And as you awaken, Milcha, upon rolling over from your slumber, you can see a puddle of blood beneath you as a result of the current state of your pregnancy that you're in.
Do I feel weaker whenever I wake up?
You definitely feel sore and tired and very fatigued. I'm not going to say it impacts anything statistically for you, but from the way your body feels, yeah, it definitely has taken its toll on you.
Okay, I come from where I was staying at, and then I come meet with the rest of them.
Yeah, as I see Milcha come out, I give an even longer glare towards her.
I match the glare that Gorzog gives to me. And I just sit silently as I meet his glare.
Kind of in an awkward interruption, Drexiath says, "Well, guess we should better get going. Who knows how long it'll take to get to our next destination."
Yeah, do we even know where we're going, Drexiath? I've never been in this area, so I can't say how near or far the closest town is where we're at. Like, do they even have the cities underground here? I know they do in the northern part of Domaselum, but I don't know how it works here.
Johnny, would I know if there are any underground cities in this part of Domaselum?
Yeah, I would say that you would. Based on where you were at, when it comes to Helver, the two closest underground cities to Helver in particular would be Tsunambus and Kolta-Fes.
Would I know if this path leads me towards either of those cities specifically?
I would say no, just because you've not traveled down in this area before. While you have a rough knowledge of the geography of these two cities based on where they are at on a typical map, I would say that you don't really know as of yet which way leads where, how long it takes, etc.
Okay. Well, even still, we should get heading. I'll take the lead.
I wait for Milcha to step in front next to Drexiath. I stand between her and Gorzog.
Okay. So as you guys journey and travel on, you're traveling here in your first day by foot, and your footfalls are met by various forms of trek here. Like there are points in your journey where the path ascends and it curves to the left or it curves to the right. So far in your journey, though, you are not met with any other exterior paths that would make you question which direction you're going, therefore not really causing you to have to stop and think of which way you should go or anything like that. But in the midst of this first day of journey here, you finish your trek. I'm guessing you just move at a normal pace. You're not moving stealthily or quickly, correct?
Yeah, I would say we just move at a normal pace. I think we've learned our lesson from last time.
Okay, no need to continue to take shots at me for this now.
I think that may be something they just remember from now on, Gorzog. But you finish your first day of travel. And even still, as you get to this point, there's no real signs of how far or close you are to a given city. But you find a little cove that you take shelter in for the time being. And you stop with your first day of travel. And as the rest comes to you, you guys awaken and you start again. I'm guessing you continue to follow the path further.
Yeah, I'll continue to lead him down the path further. We'll see if we can find anything else as we go down here.
Okay. Yeah, as you continue to move through this path, the path winds to the right, goes upward, it ascends, and then rapidly descends for a little bit of time before you level out again. As you guys are continuing the journey, is there anything you guys do or discuss? What is it in particular that you guys are doing?
I continue to just stay between Milcha and Gorzog, helping Milcha along as I can, and I do not initiate any conversation.
Gorzog's walking from behind, occasionally unsheathing his weapons, just to make sure that he's ready in case anything happens. And the thoughts that run through his mind is the burning hatred that he has over being betrayed by Sumog. And there's a part of him that wonders if what he is really doing by following these three escaped individuals just like him, he wonders if he is actually showing more weakness than strength by following them. And I think he has that inner battle within himself during this time that he's following behind them.
Milcha looks ahead to Drexiath as Gineod is walking behind her. And on the stay while they're walking, Milcha asks Drexiath, so you said that Zarakis is your father.
Yeah, that's correct.
May I ask who your mother is?
Drexiath goes quiet, still walking, but goes quiet. And after a little bit of time being quiet, he says, "No, I didn't know her. The only thing that I could remember from my earliest memories was that I came to be with my two siblings and with my father. And I grew up knowing that I was nobility being his child. I grew up knowing that I was going to live in a place that I would not need to know fear because my father put that aura of fear in everyone else. I never knew who my mother was."
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure it must be hard living in such a condition where you are the son of a creature who seeks to enslave and destroy. Was he always like this?
Johnny, do I know if Zarakis has always been this way, just wanting to enslave and build his horde and destroy anybody who gets in his way.
Yeah, even from your earliest moments of your childhood, you've always remembered that Zarakis has always sought to build his treasure hoard, and that he would consistently strive to create an army for him, and now even more so coming to the understanding that it is for a time like this. It is for a quest like sacking the Jez Mountains that he would be doing this.
I turn back to Milcha and I tell her he's always been like that. I wish it wasn't that way. You know, it seems it's hard enough just having one parent, but it's even harder whenever you have one parent that believes in destruction like he does. It's basically like not having any parents at all.
Milcha feels a lot of sympathy for Drexiath as he talks. And she starts to quicken her steps a little bit to get next to him. She puts her hand on his shoulder as he's walking. You are brave, Drexiath. And as said before, we would not be where we are without you. Thank you.
Drexiath doesn't say anything, but he continues to lead them on.
Okay. Well, you come to the end of your second day of travel. You guys take another rest from the weary traveling. And you awaken for some more travel. You continue to stay the course.
Yes, we continue to stay the course and keep going.
Okay, so now getting back on the path here, you don't travel for what maybe seems like another 300 feet before you come to a fork in this path. There is a direct path that goes left, and then there's a direct path that goes right.
Drexiath stops and takes a look at both paths. And do the paths look the same? Or anything to distinguish between the two as far as for which direction we should go?
You can go ahead and make a survival check for me, Drexiath.
Johnny, would I be able to help him and see if I can look down the stone a little bit and see if there's any grooves or anything in the stone that gives away anything?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that. Drexiath, go ahead and make it with advantage.
I really am the wrong person for this check, but I'll give it a go. It's a natural 20 for 12 of 19.
Okay, there you go. So, as you're looking down each pathway here, you see first to the left that the path thins a little bit as you look further down. It thins so much so as you'd have to travel single file just to get through this next part of it. The path to your right, it keeps the same dimensions as the path that you're traveling. You can definitely see some more foot traffic. You could see foot traffic on the left side, but you can see even more along the right side here, seeing that this is a more traveled path.
Well, just from looking at the right path here, it seems like there's more foot travel. Perhaps that means there's a city closer by that people have come and gone from. I think going right would be our best bet.
Sure. I'm open to doing that.
Gorzog doesn't say anything from the back, but as soon as he starts seeing movement, he'll begin to walk.
So you continue to walk, following the right path. And going through the right path, you see it curve to the left and ascend and leveling out after the ascension. And not long after you ascend, you all begin to hear the sound of mumbling, like a high-pitched mumbling.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, I heard it too.
Can I see anything ahead of me that might be making this noise?
Go ahead and make a perception check, Drexiath.
I rolled at 15.
With 15, you're looking forward, and you don't see anybody that's approaching. You don't see any other creatures around you. There doesn't seem to be anybody around here that's making this noise.
Johnny, I'm going to move forward slowly and just see if the mumbling gets any louder.
I'll do the same, keeping myself in front of Milcha as she does this.
Okay, as you continue to move forward, you definitely begin to hear it getting louder. Drexiath, as you begin to move forward, based off of your previous perception roll, as you move forward, you can see what appears to be an opening to like a cove or a little cavern area, kind of like similar in way to what you guys have been staying in whenever you've been traversing down here.
Johnny, I would like to stick my hand on the stone around me, and I would like to use my stone cutting feature.
Okay, cool. Yeah, tell us what that does.
So stone cutting, I can do this twice per long rest. It says as a bonus action, you gain tremor sense within a range of 60 feet for 10 minutes. You must be on a stone surface or touching a stone surface to use this tremor sense. The stone can be natural or worked.
Okay, very good. Yeah, so upon using stone cutting, you touch the stone, and as you touch the stone, you begin to feel the vibrations of disturbances in the area nearby you. Upon using your tremor sense, you are able to identify 5 creatures directly to your right in a little pocket area that appears to be where that entryway that Drexiath sees. That's where it appears that they are. As you focus in on this, you hear the mumbling begin to intensify and speed up. And now that it's loud enough, you can tell that it's language, but you cannot tell what language it is.
I tell all the others, there's 5 figures in the cove to the right here. I don't know what their intentions are.
Why don't I go ahead towards the entryway, and I'll see what it is that's going on.
Drexiath, maybe we should take this on together.
I won't be that far. I am able to cast invisibility now, and I think that could be to our benefit if I look from the entryway invisible. and then I'll let you know what I see and if we should act or not.
Okay, Drexiath will be right behind you.
Okay, so Johnny, I'm going to go ahead and cast invisibility on myself.
Okay. And so you turn invisible, and whenever you're invisible, if you make an attack or if you cast another spell, it will reveal your invisibility, or if you lose concentration on it.
Yes, that's right. And I am going to move towards the entryway. What is it that I see whenever I walk up there?
Yeah, so as you walk up there, you see, and I will say you'll be able to recognize them just because there have been some that have come to Helver on occasion to pay tribute to Zarakis. You find 5 goblin creatures in this little cove area. All of these goblin creatures appear to be putting some coins from their pockets in these sacks. And they're getting these sacks ready, and they continue to speak in Goblin, which I don't believe you understand, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I don't understand Goblin. I am going to use my Awaken Mind feature, and I'm actually going to use it on Gineod, Gorzog, and Milcha. And I communicate with them that there are 5 goblins in this cove, and that they are all putting coins in these bags, and they're like tying them up. Is that right?
Yeah, they're like sealing the bags, and then they're setting them off to the side. One thing you'll see as well is that there are 4 of them that look more like warrior goblins, and then you see one that's carrying like this small little staff, and he appears to be kind of giving commands or orders of some sort.
Okay. I relay that to each one of them using my Awaken Mind feature, since that doesn't require, it's not like once per long rest or anything.
Okay, upon hearing Drexiath say that, I respond back to Drexiath and through his telepathy that I speak Goblin. Do I have any kind of sense with the goblins that these are like thieves, or could they be up to something else other than that?
Gorzog, I would say that you, while you don't know that they would be thieves, it does seem kind of strange that they would be here down underneath the surface here. That in particular is not uncommon, but what is uncommon is that they found this cove that they're putting coinage in and they're counting it out, and it definitely seems strange that they would be doing that if they weren't some kind of thieves. But without you actually seeing it, it's really hard to tell. You could get closer to be certain, but that would require a stealth check from you.
Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and try moving forward to see if I can hear more of what the goblins are actually saying.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check.
I rolled a 20.
Okay, so yeah, did you roll that with disadvantage?
Oh, no, I didn't. You're right. Let me roll again. I actually rolled higher, so it's still a 20.
Okay, so yeah, as you move forward, kind of slinking next to the wall, You peer around and you're not noticed by them, but you do see the 5 goblins that are inside of this cove. And as you're watching them, you also now are close enough to where you can make out more of the words that are being said, and you hear the goblin with the stick kind of towards the back saying, "Hurry up! Get these all tied up. We need to have these back to the boss. If we want any kind of cut of this, we have to get it back to our boss." You hear from another one of the goblins in there, "That silly dwarf at the temple. He'll never know that we took these from him."
I look at Gorzog and use my Awakened Mind feature on him. What are they saying?
They're saying that they have to get this back to their boss so that they can get a portion of the cut. It appears that what they have here was stolen from the temple.
Okay. In knowing that they're thieves, I am going to go ahead and make an attack against them.
I will do the same if they still don't see me.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll go ahead and roll initiative. But Drexiath and Gorzog, you both will get a surprise round. So you will act first, and then we will go in the normal initiative order. But go ahead and give me your initiative.
I got a natural 1, so that'll be a 5 for me.
Okay, starting out strong.
I got a 19.
I got a 9.
I also got a 5.
Okay, so first in the surprise initiative is going to be Gorzog. Gorzog, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to move up 15 feet in front of Goblin Warrior 1, and I'm going to make my first attack with the battle axe.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll.
I rolled a 19, but now that is a crit for me since I have improved critical.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll take the max of the D8 and then roll the D8 again and add your strength.
I did 15 points of damage to him, and the battle axe has the topple feature. If you hit a creature with this weapon, you can force the creature to make a con save. On a failed save, the creature has a prone condition.
Gorzog, that one swing was actually enough to completely take out the Goblin Warrior. How would you like to describe your kill?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm thinking that actually as I go to swing the battle axe, I'm thinking that like, I come out of nowhere and I swing so hard across the torso that it just immediately drops him prone as if he would suffer from the topple condition anyway.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So it happens as you say it, and Goblin Warrior 1 falls dead to the ground. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Now I will take my movement to move another 15 feet towards the goblin with the stick. And I am going to attack the creature with my scimitar, which has the Nick property, which says when you make the extra attack of the light property, you can make it as part of the attack action instead of as a bonus action. You can make this extra attack only once per turn.
All right, yeah, go ahead and roll your attack roll.
That is a 22 to hit.
Yeah, 22 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. I rolled a 6 and then plus 3 for my strength. That'd be 9 points of damage to the goblin with the stick.
Okay, so as you come running up with your scimitar in your left hand, moving quickly, just completely taking this group by surprise, you move upon the Hexer and you slice into the side of the gut a little bit of this goblin creature. Does that end your turn?
I think I'm going to go ahead and use my action surge here as well. And I'm going to go ahead and use the battle axe to attack again. Probably doesn't hit. That's going to be an 8 to hit.
Yeah, that'll miss.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, now we're at Drexiath. Drexiath, what would you like to do here?
Yeah, I'm going to move into the broom, and I am going to Eldritch Blast Goblin Warrior 3.
Okay, you'll do so with advantage since you're invisible, but your invisibility will break once you attack.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I rolled a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I rolled a 1 on my damage, so 1 point of force damage.
Okay, every damage point counts. So as you kind of come out from invisibility, your Eldritch Blast isn't really as empowered as it normally is, and as you send it forward, you do put a little bit of force into it, and it blasts part of the shoulder of the Goblinoid warrior, but now he is very much aware of you. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I think I'm going to go for it. Since I have a surprise round, I'm going to go ahead and use my bonus action to cast. No, I think I'm going to wait. That's the end of my turn.
Okay, so we are now past the surprise round, and we are back to the regular initiative now, which is going to be back up to Gorzog. Gorzog, what would you like to do?
I'm going to keep swinging away the goblin with the stick. Does a 12 hit?
A 12 does not hit, as the Goblinoid Hexer here just kind of stands out of the way.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and attack with the scimitar now, using the neck property. I rolled another natural 19, which is a crit.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, so I got 6 from the d6, and then I rolled a 3, which is 9, and then a 3, which is plus my 3 for the strength, which is 12.
Okay, as you start to swing towards it, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, Gorzog.
Okay. I rolled a 17.
Okay, a 17 succeeds, so you watch as this goblin creature starts to power up its stick right as you swing towards it, and there's a brief flash of color that kind of comes into your field of vision, but you easily shake it off, and you swing the scimitar down at the chest of the creature, and this goblinoid hexer just cries out in pain as you strike across his chest. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, I think that's going to be the end of my turn.
Okay, now we are to the Hexer. The Goblinoid Hexer first is going to try and hit you once with its Hex Stick. Does a 24 hit you, Gorzog?
Yeah, that does hit me.
You take 8 points of psychic damage from the Goblin Hexer here, as like his stick's still lightened up. He kind of jabs it towards your chest, but when he hits you in the chest, it kind of hurts your head a little bit as the psychic damage kind of messes with your mind and causes a little bit of pain. He is going to, after he uses his Hex Stick attack, he is going to cast a spell. Gorzog, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I rolled a 17.
Okay, a 17 will succeed as you watch as after he hits you with the stick, he kind of maneuvers his hand around the stick and trying to see if the spell that he casts on you will work, but it seemingly has no effect to you as it tries to blind your eyes, but you're able to resist the effect. But that is the end of the Goblin Hexer's turn. And we are now to the Goblin Warrior's turn. Goblin 2 is going to run up to you, Gorzog, and he's going to try and hit you with a scimitar. But he rolled a natural 1, and so as he goes to swing at you, you're easily able to use your own scimitar to swiftly knock the attack away. Goblin 3 is going to move up to you, Drexiath, and he is going to try and make an attack against you. Does a 17 hit you?
Yeah, that does hit me.
Okay, you take 3 points of damage from a slash from the scimitar as, angry from your Eldritch Blast, he runs up and just slices at your right leg, leaving a little bit of a cut where you had originally planted your right leg whenever you were casting. Goblinoid 4 is going to move up 15 feet, and he is going to try and shoot at you, Gorzog, with a short bow. That is a 21 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
You also take 3 points of damage as an arrow comes flying from the short bow and it sticks into the side of your calf as it pierces your leg there. But that will end the Goblin Warrior turns. It is now Milcha. Milcha, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I'm going to move 25 feet. In view of Goblin Warrior 3, and I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at Goblin Warrior 3. Oh man, I rolled a natural 20 on a Guiding Bolt.
Oh man, this is going to be good then. So, it's 4d6 normally with our crit rules. You take the max of the damage dice that you have, so 4d6 would be 24, and then you roll all 4d6 again. Spoiler alert, this is going to kill the goblin, but I still want to see how much damage you do.
Well, I rolled 3 1s and a 6, so that's another 9 with the 24, so that's 33 points of radiant damage.
Yeah, as you blast this guiding bolt right through the chest of this goblin, the goblin goes flying back. And as he goes flying back, there's just a burnt hole within the chest of the goblin, and the goblin is dead. Anything else you would like to do with your turn, Milcha? You still have a bonus action if you want it.
I think that is just going to be my turn. It's just casting that spell.
Okay, we are to Gineod and Drexiath. You both had 5 on your initiative. Gineod, I think you probably have the higher dex, right?
Yeah, I have a +4.
Okay, and Drexiath, what do you have?
I have a +3.
Okay, so Gineod, you'll go ahead and go first. What would you like to do?
First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rage. And when I rage, I'm going to use the eagle form, which says when you activate your rage, you can take the disengage and dash actions as part of that bonus action. And while your rage is active, you can take a bonus action to take both of these actions. So I'm going to go ahead and move my 30 feet. Okay, and then as part of that bonus action, I'm going to take the dash action to get up to Goblin Warrior 4.
Okay, and remember with your polearm, you don't have to be right next to the creature because it's got 10-foot reach.
Yeah, so go ahead and put me within a 10-foot reach of Goblin Warrior 4. And I'm going to go ahead and make an attack roll with my glaive. I'm going to go ahead and do it recklessly. I rolled a 25 to hit.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
I rolled 14 points of damage on that one.
Alright, yeah, and so Gineod, as you charge through here, you activate your rage, which speeds up your movement, and as you quickly get through into this room here, you whip out your glaive and you go ahead and make your attack. How would you like to end the goblin?
Yeah, as I walk through here and find my senses attuned from the power that Yatzer has given me through this rage, I pull out the glaive right as I step to be within about 10 feet of the goblin, and I just slice it across the neck.
Okay, it happens as you say it. You swipe it across the neck, and the goblin begins bleeding from the neck and dies. Does that end your turn?
Yes, that ends my turn.
Okay, we are to Drexiath. Drexiath, what would you like to do?
I am going to actually move to the right 10 feet, and I am going to cast Acid Splash on the Goblin Hexer and Goblin Warrior 2.
Okay, and that one is a 10-foot, it's a 5-foot radius, right?
Correct, yeah, so it would affect both of them. And I would maneuver it to where it wouldn't affect Gorzog.
Okay, what saving throw do they need to make, or do you attack with that one?
You need to make a saving throw. It is a dexterity saving throw.
The Goblin Hexer rolls a 10, and then the Goblin Warrior rolls a 21.
Okay, so the 21 would succeed. It's 5 points of damage, plus my charisma modifier, since I have the Agonizing Blast invocation on the Acid Splash, so that would be 9 points of acid damage to the Goblin Hexer.
Okay, so yeah, as you send the acid flying, the Goblin Warrior in front is able to move out of the way, but it splashes the Goblin Hexer. You watch as the Goblin Hexer looks on in frustration at the Goblin Warrior, wondering why he would duck out of the way in such a manner that he would take the damage instead. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Drexiath?
No, that's going to be the end of my turn.
Okay, we are back to the top. Gorzog. Gorzog, what would you like to do?
I'm going to keep slashing away at the Hexer here. I'm going to attack with the Battle Axe. That might miss. I think it's a 12.
Yeah, 12 will miss on that one.
Okay, I'm going to attack with the Scimitar now. How about a 13?
A 13 just hits.
Okay, awesome. I rolled a 2 plus 3 for my strength, so that'd be 5 points of damage with the Scimitar.
Okay. Anything you'd like to do with your bonus action?
I think I'll use my bonus action to use my second wind. I rolled a 4 plus my fighter level is 3, so that'd be 7 points of healing.
Okay, very good. We are at the Goblin Hexer now. He is going to try and attack you, Gorzog, with 2 Hex Stick attacks. First one is a natural 1, as it as he swings it towards you, but you duck out of the way. The second one is a 14 to hit.
No, that'll miss. I'll parry that one as well.
Okay, so yeah, as you duck out of the first one, you pull the battle axe across, blocking the attack from the hex stick. It's now the Goblin Warrior's turn. With only one left, he's going to try and attack you with the scimitar. And you said a 14 didn't hit on the previous one.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so it's like you're parrying the stick with the battle axe in your right hand, and then as the scimitar comes across from the warrior next to you, you maneuver your own scimitar to block it as it comes towards you. And that's going to be the end of the Goblin Warrior's turn. We are now to Milcha. Milcha, what would you like to do?
I'm going to move over to my right, and I'm going to try Guiding Bolt again at Goblin Warrior 2. Does a 22 hit?
Yeah, 22 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh, that was a good one. That was 20 points of radiant damage on that one.
Okay, so just like Goblin Warrior 3, you send that guiding bolt flying towards the Goblin Warrior, and it just blasts it towards the corner, leaving a gaping hole also in this one's chest, as kind of the fury and wrath from the circumstances that you've been facing just channels into the bolt, and Goblin Warrior 2 is now dead. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. We are to Gineod now. Gineod, what would you like to do?
I'm going to move up 5 feet, or just to where I can get to within 10 feet of the Hexer. And I'm going to try and make an attack, and I'm going to go ahead and use Reckless Attack. Let's see, I rolled a 16 on that one.
Okay, I'm going to have you make a wisdom saving throw, as the Goblin Hexer is going to use his reaction.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, an 11 is not enough, as the Goblin Hexer flashes the hex stick, and as you swing towards it, it's like your aim with the glaive is thrown off, and it sends the blade of your glaive kind of up in the air, causing the attack to miss. Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
No, that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay, we are to Drexiath now. Drexiath, what would you like to do?
I'm going to move 10 feet over to the right, just where I can get in view of the Hexer. And I'm going to try Acid Splash again. Have him make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, he rolled a 20 on that one.
Okay, that'll succeed.
Alright, so then that would be the end of your turn, Drexiath. And now we are back at the top again with Gorzog. Gorzog, you continuing the onslaught?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and try making another attack here. Does a 14 hit with the battle axe?
Yeah, that'll hit.
That is 6 points of damage, and he needs to make a Constitution saving throw for the topple feature.
Okay, he only rolled an 11.
Okay, an 11 fails as I trip him with the battle axe, and he falls prone on the ground. Now I'm going to attack with my scimitar. Okay, does a 13 hit with advantage?
Yeah, that does hit, and he only had 1 hit point left, so how would you like to do this one?
Okay, so as I trip him with the battle axe, he falls on his back, and before he can try and crawl away, I kind of flip the scimitar into more of like into where it's more of a jabbing weapon, And as he starts to crawl away, I jab in the side of his neck, and he dies.
Okay, very good. That completes the combat. Great job, guys. You guys worked through all that. And as you guys are standing here within this cove, you see the 4 dead goblin humanoids here. The hex stick falls to the ground, and you see some bedrolls, but then you also do see the various bags that these goblins were putting coins in. What are you guys doing from here?
I think I'm going to investigate the room and just see what all is in here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check, see what all you find here.
I'm gonna aid Drexiath as he looks.
Okay, good thing. My investigation's not good.
And mine's not either, but I can help you.
It's just a 10, even with advantage.
Okay, it's not a super hard DC, really, that you're looking at here. As you're looking through the different bags that have coins in them, upon looking through the bags, altogether you are able to find 200 gold pieces.
Alright, awesome.
And as you're looking a little bit more at these goblin creatures here, you look at the Hexer, and upon looking through the Hexer, you're able to find a small banjo near the bedroll of what seems to be where the Hexer would take his rest. Yeah, you find this banjo, and it seems very unique, and it seems like it's pretty well crafted, perhaps worth a good amount, perhaps maybe belonging to somebody who had either great craftsmanship or a entertainer who knew someone with great craftsmanship. That is what you find, the 200 gold pieces along with this instrument here.
Johnny, would I be able to take some time and cast Identify on the banjo?
Yeah, you can do that. Upon casting Identify on it, you are able to see that this is actually an instrument of scribing. The instrument of scribing says this musical instrument has 3 charges, regains all expended charges daily at dawn. While you're playing it, you can take a magic action to expend 1 charge and write a magical message on a non-magical object or surface that you can see within 30 feet of yourself. The message can be up to 6 words long, and it is written in a language you know. If you are a bard, you can scribe an additional 7 words and make the message glow faintly, allowing it to be seen in non-magical darkness. Casting the Dispel Magic spell on the message erases it. Otherwise, the message fades away after 24 hours.
Huh, interesting. Can I look further at the banjo and see if there is a message that is kind of what this property of this item is describing?
Yeah, and so I'm going to say, just going along with your investigations roll before here, as you're looking on the banjo, you turn it over, and along the back, you indeed see something inscribed on it. It is not a full-length message, but you can see that what is on the back of this banjo is a name. And the name is Glen Marai.
Glen Marai. How do you spell that last name?
It's Marai. First name is Glen. Glen Marai.
Would I have any possible idea of what that could mean, of who that is?
You can make a history check if you'd like to see.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah, the name Glenn Marai doesn't conjure up any kind of thoughts or memories or anything for you.
Okay. Anything else you guys think we need to look for here?
I don't think so. I think we took care of this and stopped this. Now, who exactly... Drexiath, were you communicating with all of us what Gorzog had interpreted from the goblins?
I actually just go ahead and tell everybody out here, these were thieves. I heard them talking out loud. They were saying that they stole this gold from a dwarf in a temple.
Oh, so we don't know if it's in a particular city or not, do we?
Yeah, I guess we don't know for sure, but at least we know that we're going the right way. Perhaps if we continue further on, maybe we'll find something.
Okay, I say we keep going.
I'm okay with that as well, especially now that we got a little bit of gold to work with here.
Okay, I think we're going to continue moving forward.
Okay, so as you move forward here, you exit the cove and you get back out onto the path. And as you move back onto the path, you continue to travel. Not even maybe a few miles as you're continuing to move on. You get towards the end of this path. And as the end of this path occurs, now standing on the other side of where this path leads out to, you see a big open city ahead of you, and you see a sign near this opening from this path that you guys have come from. And very janky, very old, barely hanging on, you see a sign kind of posted in the ground that says, "Welcome to Colta Fess." And that is going to be where we end today.
Oh, awesome. I'm so glad to be level 3. I couldn't wait to get the subclass.
Yeah, I know. I was looking forward to you guys doing that too. Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you for the next session on the Archives of Domaselum.